Hello, everyone. Senior reporter Brad Johnson here with the Texan. I'm here with Representative David Cook. Sir, welcome.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
How's the convention treating you so far?
Good. I mean, lots of people, lots of energy here, and so really enjoyed getting to meet some new folks and see some familiar faces both.
Yeah.
So.
During session last year, you authored the rogue DA law.
Yes.
The ability to basically throw district attorneys out of office who aren't upholding the law.
Right.
First of all, what was the justification for that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the justification is just when prosecutors are putting their politics ahead of policy, and so we found that was happening quite often, and something we needed to terminate in the state of Texas, and so HB 17, that's the focus and the purpose of what we're doing there.
And it's kind of playing out right now in Travis County with Jose Garza facing one of those removal lawsuits.
That's right.
Give me your thoughts on that so far.
Yeah, I think it's just like what you said. I think it's a process, and I think that the administrative law judge has thus far has decided to keep that case himself. I mean, he's the administrative region judge, and he has the authority to assign it to any judge within that region, but not within the Travis County area.
Yeah.
And so thus far he's decided to keep it himself, and so I think that the question is what's going to be the pace of the case, and so I would hope that this case moves forward quickly, and we'll see how HB 17 works out.
How do you think it plays out in these larger urban counties versus smaller, more rural counties?
Well, I think that's where you're seeing it is in the large urban counties. I think it's just it's synonymous with those that are going out and basically what they're doing, they're crossing the line with campaign speeches with their role as an elected district attorney, and so that's the focus of the law is to stop it, whether it's in rural or urban, but the only places that I've seen it really take place is in more urban areas.
Well, that's definitely a high-profile case, and it's kind of a trial run to see how really this plays out.
That's right. And again, I mean, our goal is to stop that type of behavior, and so and that's happened a lot throughout the state. Just there's been some other petitions that have been filed, and some of the DAs have taken corrective actions, and that's our goal with HB 17.
What are some of those counties?
I believe. I believe down in South Texas. I don't maybe Cameron County. I could be wrong, but there's been a couple of other petitions that have been filed. But like you said, this one in Travis County is the first one that's really it's going to be the test case as it moves forward.
Another issue, election integrity. The legislature passed a really broad election reform bill in 21.
Sure.
Obviously, that took a while to do.
Right.
But it's finally passed.
Try again.
Yeah. Right. And then this week we saw news break about being able to access ballots through some weird convoluted way.
Yeah. I can talk a little bit about that.
What are your thoughts going forward on that and just generally?
Yeah, so I mean, probably I was made aware of it about 8 weeks ago, and so it's just ironic that obviously with Chairman Rinaldi's ballot hitting the press this week. I mean that's drawing much more attention to the issue. But I was made aware of it about 8 weeks ago, and so what people are doing is they're making open records requests, and they're getting the ballots, and they're able to see how someone voted, but then how they're matching up to see exactly who it is that made those votes is that they're looking at the countywide voting. And so the question really that the series that I've been speaking on is I've entitled it voter privacy versus voter convenience, and so people like the convenience of voting anywhere in the county, but right now under current procedures, I mean there is exposure if you're voting outside of your precinct, and so we've got to fix that. And so like right now, if someone is they live in county precinct number 2500, and they go vote in 2535, and they're the only voter that voted in that other precinct on that day, then it's readily available who it is, and so that's the process where they're how they're able to identify the ballots and expose how someone voted, and so that's really where you have to compare that convenience versus the privacy, and so it may be necessary as Tarrant County has done. Tarrant County GOP has passed a resolution moving that the Tarrant County Commissioners Court terminate the program in Tarrant County. And so we're going to look at it from the legislative perspective for early voting. So the commissioners have it, as far as election day is concerned. The legislature's authority would, primarily be as it relates to early voting.
Okay. Any other big ticket lanes, items for election integrity that you think the legislature needs to address at some point?
I think that's the most important, just because it's really at the the crux. It's really the most important, because I mean if you look at the statute, the number one issue is voter privacy.
Right.
And so that's got to remain the top priority. And so I think as we move forward, I think that's what we have to keep in the forefront is voter privacy.
Going forward, next session, obviously there's a lot up in play. We don't know how the runouts are going to turn out, but
Sure.
Next session, what are you optimistic about getting passed? Not election related, but anything else?
Well, I think that's a good question. I think a lot of that depends on the leadership and based upon the runoff that you mentioned. And so I think we'll just have to wait and see. I think that there's a lot of difficulty.
Yeah.
In the two chambers at this point in time. And so I just my commitment is to go in, roll my sleeves up, and do my job, and do the best I can do as far as as an individual member.
If you could snap your fingers and pass one large bill next session, what would it be?
Probably two. Me personally, I would probably want to work further on HB 17.
Okay.
I think it's going to require some tweaking, and so
Yeah.
we'll certainly be working on that to make sure that we do everything we need to do to keep politics out of prosecution.
Yeah. Okay. Representative David Cook, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate the opportunity.